All right, let's do this test quickly. Dream argument establishes dubitability, external world, because if we cannot know that we're not dreaming, we can't be certain that our beliefs about the external world are true. Here, Socrates' argument that death is not to be feared, that's in the Apology. He does not claim to know that death is a relocation of the soul and not a complete lack of perception. He says it might be either one. So that's going to be false. According to Warburton, epistemology is not the branch of philosophy that deals with right and wrong, justice and injustice, but rather issues of knowledge. See, Phaedo, argument from opposites, does indeed attempt to show that everything that has an opposite comes to be what it is from its opposite. It then goes on to show other things. So that's an intermediate conclusion, essential for the main conclusion of the immortality of the soul. Warburton rationalism is indeed, yes, the view that important truths about nature can be deduced from reason alone. The trademark argument, right in the book, attempts to prove that God exists. Which of the following is one of the methods? Here, that's foundationalism. Wittgenstein's critique of the theory of forms is in terms of family resemblance, which denies that there has to be any one single common essence. Socrates' philosophical method, right there from the audio, call that the Elenchus. Probably in the introduction to the Plato book too. Two substances for Descartes, minds and bodies. According to Nozick, yes, wisdom does tend to produce happiness for a couple reasons. You can find that there. Nozick's definition of wisdom is indeed precisely this. I took that right from the book. So it's true. Claim that the soul is a harmony of the body is not made by Socrates, nor is it intended to support the thesis that the soul is immortal. That is trying to show that the soul is not immortal. So Socrates asks Euthyphro for the form of piety. It's going to be here. All pious actions makes them pious. Important philosophical distinction when he asks this question here is whether piety is subjective or objective, or generally speaking, the subjective-objective distinction he raises. So here, that's false. When the bundle theory of the self is an opposing theory of the self to the substantial theory of the self defended by Descartes. So affinity, simplicity, that's based on the supposed attribute of the soul, that it is non-composite. That's the attribute of the soul which Socrates is arguing prevents it from dying, at least in the way that things that are composite die. Philosophical project is A, find a belief that's absolutely certain. Poets, politicians, artisans, we saw they all claimed to know many things, but couldn't back up or defend their knowledge claims, and thus they presumed themselves to know many things that in fact they didn't. Here, this is true. It's kind of a long statement, but that is indeed true. It's right there in the Nozick chapter on wisdom. And the audio. Which of the following represents Socrates' defense against the official charge of atheism? Official charge, so it's going to be this. Nothing to do with the word of Apollo, because it's official charge. Knows that his body is no part of him, because he knows he exists, but doesn't yet know that any bodies exist, thus he can't be his body. Makes a certain kind of sense. The role that Nozick specifies for the understanding, come from examining life, is this here, comes to permeate our life and direct its course. All right.